Alright guys, got an exciting install here. Indy Marine have sent us these Cyclops load sensors to try out. They are literally going to measure the load on our shrouds. I think these could be the way of the future because you not only get to tension the rig at the dock, you get to see what loads you're dealing with out at sea. So this is a sort of a new technology for cruising sailboats. The guideline at the moment is to never put your rig, or these cap shrouds, under more than a third of the breaking strain. And the breaking strain of our wires, which is 16 mil, is 21 tons, 21,000 kilograms. So we never ever want to see more than 7, but we actually want to be more around the 5.5 ton mark to let us know when to reef. So it's going to be super interesting to trial these, and the information is going to go to our Raymarine Axiom chart plotter. So we should be able to just at a glance see what's happening there. And there's also an app. I've just downloaded the app actually. These are sitting here on at the moment. They're obviously battery powered. And right now there's 30-40 kilograms of load on it just sitting there, which is totally normal because these are calibrated to like thousands of kilograms. So to be anywhere near zero right now is perfect. Comes with a charger that literally just wirelessly sits on there. Then we've got the gateway here, which plugs into the Raymarine Sea-Talk network, and then the antenna, we're going to mount it somewhere in the middle of the boat so it can talk to both load sensors. Let's get onto it.
So I'm Colin, and this is the crew of Parlay Revival. From hurricane damaged to broken bulkheads and getting struck by lightning not once but twice, to being the strongest and fastest Lagoon 450 on the planet. We've already sailed 25,000 miles to get here, and nothing is going to stop us from circumnavigating the globe. So subscribe to follow our journey around this beautiful planet. 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the things you did. So what are you waiting for?
So to do this, we're going to have to release the shrouds. So we're going to do one at a time. Going to put some halyards down to hold the mast up, obviously, and we're going to tape it off because they happen to be exactly the same length. Because it's the same length, we're going to just do this up to the exact same place, and that should get us really close to where we need to be. And we might have to do a sea trial and just tweak them a little bit. Okay, we got 2 halyards down to our cleats. We want to make sure we get this right though, because we got NZL 68 next to us here, an old America's Cup boat. And on our other side, we've got John Florence's boat, professional surfer. So we don't want this rig to come down on either one of these boats. Pull the split pins out without falling overboard.
Hopefully the guns can hold it.
Yeah, it can look really big from the sail.
I'll stay like that then.
This is all brand new in Mexico. Ooh. A year ago, so nothing's seized on us, which is good.
Safe. Hope so.
You can hear some creaking up on the mast there. Okay, let's leave it like that. We'll do the other side, and then we'll actually take the tension off the forestay, and we'll do those washers while we've got these on. We're trying to get the whole mast forward now so that we can get this pin out. Look how corroded this aluminium washer is. Okay, just slowly ease the blue halyard. That rig's just balancing there now. Okay, you can take up on either one. Okay. We need the hammer. Whoa, well, push your hammer. Dad, you okay?
The perks of working on land. No one has to swim and get it.
Yeah, there we go. Look at that thing. Put these guys on. It's better. There was a huge gap there, so we've spaced that out. There we go. And if you guys remember, or you were watching in Mexico, Jonas. Oh! So Jonas, one of the owners of Selden, flew down to Mexico to hand deliver some Selden gear for us.
It will stretch,
Yeah.
and then it sits.
Yeah.
And then you don't have any stretch.
Which these are actually made by Selden as well, but the load sensor is by Cyclops. Get some rig oil on there. What does that do? It's like an anti-seize. There she goes. And we're off. I think we'll just get it sort of hand tight.
Yeah.
And do the other side. It's got this power button here, and you press it down for different things. You can turn it on, you can turn it off, you can put it on extended battery mode, which will only ping every 4 seconds. When it's on, it's pinging every 1 second. So we'll figure out what we want it on. That's good. So we are expecting to see different loads on these in the shipyard and when we splash. But after the first sail, they should be exactly even. Okay, cool. Now we'll release this, take it over to the other side and swap those ones out. Making quick work of it. Our solar panel has arrived. Remember that solar panel that smashed crossing the Pacific? Well, it's finally given up the ghost. It's shorted out inside, so we've got a new one. It's from Lusty and Blundell down the road here. Okay, we've tightened up the rig screws or the turnbuckles right up to the tape. Feels great. Feels exactly how they were feeling. So let's open the app. Woo! 1.5 tons. So the minimum that it says here is 2.2. I just don't like to do that. It's you've seen what's happened to our boat with the bulkheads breaking. Guess that bit's coming out. That rig tension has a lot to do with it. If you've been following for a while, you would have seen us rig the boat in Panama with Mike Barker from the rigger from New Zealand.
And here is the point. We don't want to be levering our boat apart. The leverage, I mean, this is a very wide boat, and the leverage is huge.
We got it to about this tension. We sailed, and then when we did like a sea trial to see how much more tension they need, we watched and listened to the boat rather than just trying to crank out this crazy number of 2.2 tons.
Boats do talk to you, and they're telling you what's going on, what's moving against such things. The things to watch for in boats like this are the doors closing.
And then when it gets up to 20 knots, 22 knots, they might get a little bit slack. You might see a little bit of movement in them, and that's normal. That's your boat telling you to reef. So that's how we've done it. There's no point in over tensioning that rig. So many bad things can happen from it.
We can tighten this, and we can, if we want to today, we can certainly destroy all the work that you and your mates have done to this boat. It would be easy to do. You know, if you can show this to other lagoon owners, just let them know it's not difficult.
So now, this is just the app, so I can even be in my cabin and see what's happening up on the shrouds. But now we're going to install the Cyclops gateway and see if we can get this working on the Ray Marine.
Meanwhile, it was time to say goodbye to Taylor, who had joined us for the entire circumnavigation around New Zealand, but also had become my first ever business partner with his product called Salt Shark.
Well, how do you describe the time on Parlay? To think of a highlight, it's almost impossible. I could say about the great white sharks or the time at the top of the mast. All these moments I know I'll keep for a lifetime. But the biggest part about this trip, I'd say, would be the people. These are once in a lifetime people that you meet, and I'm so grateful that I got to be a part of their lives and see what their lives were like. This New Zealand adventure has been life-changing, but these last 2 weeks have truly been life-changing. They've changed the direction that my life is heading. As you guys saw a couple of weeks ago, launching my partnership with Colin is something I could only have dreamed of. I was that kid that was bordering on too pushy to even get on this boat, to let alone say that I'm now business partners with Colin McRae. It's, yeah. And reading through the comments on YouTube, me and Colin, we saw that there was new markets opening up to us. The biggest one we saw was the markets in Canada and North America about the salt on the roads. So right now we're already developing new products and a new concentrate for you guys, so you guys can get your hands on some salt shark too. But yeah, I'll be back. I'm not sure exactly when or where in the world it will be, but we're going to be working hard to take salt shark from my garage to the world.
I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to find out more about salt shark and how you can pre-purchase some before our launch in the States.
A couple of months, eh?
Ah! See ya!
Run before I start crying.
Okay, so we've just plugged this thing in. It's called the gateway, and this here just goes straight to our Sea Talk network for the Raymarine, and this is picking up the signal from the two load sensors and sending it through the Raymarine system.
Indie Marine are offering you guys 5% off if you want to buy some load sensors, so I'll leave a link in the description below.
So we just had a few exciting little packages arrive. This one finally is the new injection pump. You guys remember in Minerva Reef we had that failure of the pump. We managed to get it rebuilt right here in Whangarei, but it was done with used parts. This cost $4,000 New Zealand, by the way. Not a cheap bit of kit. But I can install this onto that port side, and then I'll use the one which has been running perfectly. I'll keep that as a spare. The other one is this, sent to us by Nipex. They've been watching us with all our rusty tools, and they want to get some of these in our hands. They didn't actually tell me what they're sending. Woo! Sweet! Might find a few of these missing when Dad leaves.
Oh, that's good.
These lanyards are epic. Come with a little clip on it there. You clip that to you or your bosun's chair or whatever. This is good quality shit. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. We got Corey about to put the new injector pump in. There it is. Spare.
Shiny.
The next morning, Corey and I dismantled the second used SD60 that Grant had donated to us, but we knew that the clutch was slipping. So for peace of mind, I wanted to rebuild both sail drives before heading off into some of the most remote parts of the Pacific and Asia. I hopped in the car and headed down to see Grant, who not only had a hydraulic press that we needed, but also had experience rebuilding the clutch of an SD60 himself.
So I bought the clutch kit from Myanmar. That's arrived, so it's got all new plates and shims and everything. Did yours look like that?
Yeah, I got that.
Okay, so you've already done this before. How'd you go?
Well, it took me a while, but I got to get it to go. The problem we've got is that you have to push all these gears off.
Yeah.
To reshim it.
Yeah.
And you got to put them all back on.
Yeah.
And then you got to test it.
Yeah.
And then you got to do it again.
Okay, so it just goes clunk.
Yeah, it just goes clunk, and that pushes those clutch plates together.
And we got it undone.
Sits under there. There we go.
For the next few hours, we removed parts, checked tolerances, replaced all the clutch plates, then started putting it all back together.
It's so complicated. The difference between the inner race of the top roller bearing and this washer is 0.1 millimeters.
Everything was going okay until...
All right, we've broken one of the parts.
You broke it, Colin.
Is that what we're going with?
No. We broke it.
Oh, the bottom line with this is I wouldn't recommend anyone try this.
Correct.
He's a mechanical engineer. I've done my time. It's been so tough. We thought we could do it, and we ended up breaking one of these little pins that go into the clutch selector, and there's absolutely no way we're going to be able to get this going. So I'm going to put the SD50 back in the boat that we've got under Parlay right now. As the gear's going on, you have to make sure that every single one of these plates fits right down into this groove. We've shimmed it out here. We've had a tolerance of 0.4 millimeters. So yeah, it's just very technical
And you've
stuff.
got these little things in here that shoot out if you get it wrong. Shoot across the workshop.
They've been flying all over the workshop. Yeah, these things.
Yeah.
So this thing just moves up and down, and there's nothing stopping it from going all the way down. And this has got a little spring on it here, and it just sends this probe thingy flying across the room.
And this is my second time of doing this, but it's been 2 years since I did it. And I remember it being painful.
We actually ended up getting the second clutch assembly successfully rebuilt in no time, so the day wasn't a complete waste of time. The next morning, Jamie and I got to work getting the one good rebuilt SD60 clutch back together.
Alright, we're going to try and put this sail drive back in now. Super happy with how that all turned out. Very complicated setup there. I'll just put the shims back in, then that's taken the play out. Once this plate goes on the end here, like that, and all the play is taken out of it. So the shaft is spinning this way, coming out of the engine, it's just constantly spinning this way. You can see the gear down there is spinning clockwise right now. And then if the selector goes this way, there, then you can see the gear starts to spin anti-clockwise down there. So that's the principle of it. This is the selector here going side to side. So that's obviously got to fit exactly on there. So I might just put it back into neutral, which is in the center. There. Okay, that's in neutral. I'm gonna give both surfaces a nice wipe with alcohol. Just put a nice thin layer and everything. Looks good to me. So that's gone on the shifter. Yeah, beautiful. Everything gets a washer, yeah?
Yep, got one.
And then I've got a new gasket on there, and it's got a groove in the top to let the oil come in and supply this bearing back here. Okay, got some silicone grease that I'm just putting on this lip seal here, and because we don't have any real space, we made up a little contraption out of a split bit of wood so that we can drive this on nice and square. Over that part. Okay, it's already wanting to go in. We're just gonna put it either side. Just keep it square, yeah? So just little bit by bit. Let go. Boom. She's in. Now we just have to calibrate the gear shifter up the top, and then we're done for now. Just put a bit of gasket glue on here. We're gonna nip this up, but we're not gonna send it all the way home just yet. Okay, just make sure that it has found its location. Just nip those up, just so that the cover doesn't move. Okay, now we've got a ruler, and we're just gonna put a tape on it so we can draw on it. So we'll go forward, put a circle there on the inside hole. Yep, and then we come back before it engages. Okay, and then we put it into gear, and then bring it back to where it engages. So we'll put a hole there.
and then we go forward and we put a circle there. So we haven't moved our ruler at all. So now, if we put a mark down the center here, between that position there, we need to see less than 24 mil between the center and the hole there. So that is 22 and a half. This side is, wow, they're exactly the same. Don't know how we managed that, but that's us for the lever position. So we're gonna just torque those up right now. So that just tells us that this is in the center position there. That's gonna go there with another nut and washer. Perfect, so neutral is landed exactly there. So the sail drive is now ready. We'll just top it up with some oil. We're gonna grease up that spline and try mate the engine up with it. That lip there has got to go inside there.
Yep.
So let's slowly draw them together. We're on. Okay, don't move. Okay, hold it there. Wow, that was smooth. So the plan is to splash on Friday, but on Wednesday we're going to drive down to Auckland, have our final farewell Patreon meetup. It's also Brit's birthday that day, so she doesn't really know that we've organised a bit of a party for her. She thinks we're just going to dinner and pick up Barbs, who you guys know if you've been following for a while. She was sailing through Costa Rica with us. We have to put these in. These are the transducers for the 3D sonar. So many of you guys are asking about these. We got struck by lightning right after we put these in Costa Rica, and we hooked it all up and the system didn't work. There was too much electricity in the water, and the old ones of these are now. And finally we got to get all our True Design through hulls done. We're going with composite through hulls now. It's eliminating all of the bronze in this boat. These are composite, so they're 30% fiberglass and 70% nylon. So they last forever, and there's zero corrosion issues. You saw the state of some of those bronze fittings that came out of the boat. That is scary. That has the ability to sink your boat. Busy 2 days, let's go.